Shaking out the arms and legs. This is stretch class, a full body stretch for better mobility, better flexibility. We're going to do a certain sequence today, which we've done before, where we warm up for 3, 4, 5 minutes, something like that. Then each stretch that we do will be an active stretch where we go in and out of tension, followed by a static stretch where we place and hold, okay? So active stretches are often good for recovery and warm-ups and cool downs, and static stretches are often good for making things longer, right? An actual muscle adaptation, a soft tissue adaptation, meaning there's long-term change, okay? So lengthening the muscle. So we'll do a little bit of both today, shaking out the arms, maybe jogging in place. Again, it's good to have a chair on hand because we do a couple of seated moves. You don't have to have yoga mats, but I do some moves on the floor and some moves standing. So do what's accessible to you, right? If there's something you can't do, obviously don't feel bad about it. Just move on and spend your time doing a different move. You don't need to like wait and watch and wait till I'm done doing the thing that maybe you can't do today. I don't know. So fill your time with other stretches, or just spend twice as much time doing the stretches that you can do. All right. Here we are, shaking out the legs. Turn the head left and right. So just rotating the neck, warming up each joint here in the vertebrae. So let's spend a little more time here. Turning the neck side to side. All right, eyes forward, roll the shoulders, big shoulder rolls. It's definitely critical that we warm up very, very well. We want to be very fully warmed up, meaning we've got blood flow to all the tissues. Blood carries oxygen and other nutrients and stuff that helps the effectiveness of exercise, right? And the safety of the exercise. All right, switch directions if you haven't already. Going both ways. Sure you don't have any tripping hazards on the ground. All right, settle down there with the shoulders. Nice wide feet, or sitting in a chair is fine as well. Sink down at the knees and hips. It doesn't need to be a deep squat, but we're avoiding twisting the knees, okay? I like to bring fists together or palms together, and we're rotating the waist, rotating from the waist up, the spine, okay? Breathe in here. Couple more. And let's pause over one way. Take a nice deep breath, expand the lungs and the ribs. Exhale, unwind over to the other side. Nice deep breath, expand the lungs and the ribs. Exhale and unwind. All right, feet come closer together. Almost done with our warm up here. Circles one way with the hips. These are hula hoop circles to get the hip joints warmed up. And switch directions. All right, jog the knees, or marching the knees anyway, waking up these hip flexors here at the tops of the legs. Okay, you might jog in place, get the blood flowing one last time here. Breathing the whole time. You don't want to hold your breath throughout a class like this, really throughout most classes, unless it's a diving class. But anyway, we don't want to hold our breath here. We want to keep on breathing, trying to build a lot of pressure, right, in the lungs, in the circulatory system, all that. So maybe do some side jacks if there's another move you like to do. Maybe do a little jump rope. I don't know. Find a move you like and get fully warmed up. Okay, I'm going to go top down today. We're going to start with active moves, right? An active move followed by a static move. So active, meaning it's in and out of tension. For the neck, looking down toward the ground, and here's how I can make this active. You can breathe in and rise the shoulders, exhale and sink down with the shoulders. So keep your eyes down toward the ground, looks like this. Looking for tension in the back of the neck. As you breathe in, the shoulders rise, and exhale, sink down. Unlock the knees so that you've got good blood flow and good cushioning in the joints, in the legs. Come on up. Exhale down. What One more here, breathing in, coming up. And exhale down. All right, now we can rock the forehead left and right. So it's just like a slow motion pendulum swing left and right. Over the toe, over the toe. It's not too aggressive. We're just going to call this an active neck stretch. Fingertips reach down toward the ground. All right, let's make it static. So what that means is I'm going to place and hold for a number of seconds. It could be 5 seconds, but longer is better, especially if you're stiffer, right? Doesn't mean harder is better, right? You don't want to push through something and strain your tissues, but you do want to hold long enough to where it starts to feel like maybe it has satisfied the tension needs, okay? It is relaxed or there's other ways to put that, but essentially until you've gotten a good stretch. And that's going to vary from person to person. But I'm going to look down over one toe, breathing in, and I'm just holding here. I'm not holding my breath, but I am holding the stretch, looking down over my toe. Still breathing. All right, I'm going to switch sides, looking over the other toe, looking for a little bit of tension on the back angle of the neck. Couple more breaths. Unlock the knees if you've forgotten. I've forgotten. And bring the nose toward the center and roll on up. All right, shrug the shoulders a couple times. Okay, we're moving down the body, but let's get the neck on the side specifically next, okay? So the eyes are forward. I'm gonna tilt my ear toward one shoulder. I'm gonna keep my eyes forward though. So I'm not looking down at the shoulder. I'm just tilting, I'm tipping side bend with the neck, okay? Fingertips stay down and really carefully I'm tipping my right ear toward my right shoulder, which means I'm getting tension on the left side of my neck, but if you're on the other side, that's fine. Okay? And you could be seated for these as well, okay? To make this a little more active, you can breathe in and shrug the shoulders up. Then get tension by reaching the fingertips down. Breathe in and shrug the shoulders up. Find tension by reaching the fingertips down. And then let's just pause with our fingertips reaching down so the shoulders should stay, it's called depressed, right? Down. It's not like sad depressed. It's like down depressed. Okay? Looking for a little bit of tension on the left side of the neck or the right if you're on the other side. Okay? Then I'm going to come on up, back to the center, shrug the shoulders, other side. Almost done with the neck here. Left ear toward the left shoulder. Eyes are straight forward. Unlock the knees. Let me just show you. You can easily do this in a chair as well. Okay, so left ear toward the left shoulder, looking for tension on the right side of my neck. It's like I'm listening to the sky with my right ear. Okay, breathing in, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, bring the shoulders back down. Breathing in, shoulder shrug up. Exhale, the fingertips lead down. Last one here, breathing in, coming up. And exhale, down, down, down. All right, we're looking for a little bit of tension on the side of the neck. Breathing in. And I'm just holding here. Maybe another breath or two. You're welcome to hold longer if you'd like. And coming on up to the center, shrug the shoulders, roll them both ways, right? And you do a few backward and a few forward. All right, coming on down the body, okay? So this is gonna be for the chest. These are the pecs right in the front here. And these are like your push-up muscles, your bench press muscles, often very overtrained, right? Especially for athletes or people in the military or veterans, things like that, because we've done so many push-ups, right, and not enough pull-ups. Anyway, so we're often overtrained and hunched over in the shoulders because these are sometimes too tight. So we've got to stretch them. An active stretch for the chest looks like this. I like to do the disco dance down and across, up and back. It's slow, it's steady, it's controlled, but it's this diagonal movement pattern. I'm not flinging up really fast, like I'm pulling a lawnmower string. It doesn't have a lot of momentum, right? No force. It's just very gentle, controlled movement. You could find the optimal line of pull by doing a big circle and kind of finding where do I get the most tension. Maybe it's back here, maybe it's up here, maybe it's somewhere in between. For me, it's pretty in between. It's kind of this diagonal pointing toward that corner up there, right? So I already know my line of pull, so I come down and across, up and back. The line of pull is the line that the muscle fibers run in. So the biceps are easy, right? This is the line of pull. Pulls up and down, up and down. The chest is a little funny. It's kind of seashell shaped, but it essentially, most of them go diagonally, the fibers. So it's down and across, up and back. Down and across, up and back. Down and across, up and back. I'll do one more here, up and back. Okay, you could do more, but I'm gonna switch sides. Down and across, up and back. Got 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Controlled movement. Okay, and I don't do a whole lot of static stretches for the chest. They exist, but some of them have higher risk than others. I'm gonna do one today where we use the wall as a little bit of leverage. So don't over leverage yourself, right? Don't take out too much credit, right? Essentially, don't injure your shoulder by holding onto the wall and pushing real hard. Okay, you want to be very mild on our next stretch. You don't want to pinch your shoulder and irritate it, okay? Try to be even on both sides. I think I did more on the left than the right, but whatever, okay? Aim for symmetry. All right, here's our static stretch. We just did our active in and out of tension. Here's our static stretch for more range of motion. A couple of things you can do here. Tuck the elbows in at your sides and bring the fists out. Okay, so this is external rotation of the shoulders, which is going to do rotator cuff stuff. May get a little bit of tension in the chest. If you feel that, then great. If you don't, I'm going to move on to the next one, but essentially my elbows at roughly 90 degrees. I'm just bringing the shoulder blades back and the fists out. Okay, I actually have a lot of limitation there, and that's something that I should do more of with all my spare time. Anyway, so I should do more of that stretch myself. Okay, I think you might be able to see on my left side here, over here, this is my left side. I don't know if it looks like it in the video, but as I come out, I have some limitation. That's okay. It's something to work on. Okay, another one here. This is more directly for the chest. Is with your hands on the wall, forearms straight up and down. Okay, I'm just facing the wall. Your body doesn't have to be smack up against it, but close would be good. And then reach on up, sort of creating a Y shape. Okay, so this is for shoulders. You might get a little chest out of it. What I'm going to do in a second here is get to the corner, right? The corner where my walls meet, and then I'll get definitely more tension in the chest. So you come on up and you can place and hold, coming close to the wall, closer if you can, and then back down. Okay, so the more mobility you have, the closer you're going to be able to get to that wall. Like you could maybe be smack flat against the wall, but I don't want you to start there if it's going to bother your shoulders, okay? Now, if you're facing the corner, right, you could also do this in a doorway. If you've got a door frame, open the door and have your hands on either side, holding onto the door frame, sort of step through like this. Now, I'm going to use the corner here because I've got a nice corner space. But the forearms stay out to the sides, elbows are on either wall, left and right, and I'm just pushing forward just a little bit, looking for a little bit of tension right here in the chest. Now, this is where I'm talking about don't go too hard. Be very gentle here because you don't want to pinch through things. If you're getting pinching, back out of it gently and completely change the move, right? Bring the elbows down more or up more. That line that you're pulling in might be irritating your shoulders, and we don't want that, right? We want you to keep being able to exercise tomorrow and next week and the week after that. Don't do a 3-week or 3-month setback by pinching things. Very gentle here, just a slight lean forward. Now you might benefit from a front to back stance, as in 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and then push forward. okay? Versus your feet being close together. I think I have enough control either way, so I'm okay with my feet being close together. But again, you might have more control if you have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Okay, my forearms are vertically placed on the walls, and I'm leaning forward into a light stretch here. Should not be too aggressive. Now, you might try up higher. That might feel better for you. You might try down lower. That might feel better for you. Listen to your body on your shoulders. Another thing you can do here is straight arms out to the sides. The palms will touch the wall, and you want to be very gentle here. Remember, there's such thing as too much leverage. If you start to get tingly in the hands, your nerves might be getting irritated. We don't want that. Okay, so back out of it if you need to. Sorry for being a hall monitor here, safety police. Anyway, be kind to your body, okay? If you want to hold that stretch, great. Hey guys, while you take a break, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can see when I post more videos like these. All right, thanks. Back to the workout. I'm going to move on to our next segment here. The mid-back, wide part of the back, and this wide part actually pulls down to the lower back. So it's all connected. The mid-back is like the rhomboids and middle traps. The lower back is lower traps and lats, latissimus dorsi, so we're going to get all of that right now. So clasp the hands together, nice wide feet, sinking down, create a little cushion in the knees, and you can weight shift here because we're going to turn to the side. The idea is round the shoulders forward and push the hands over to the side. Okay, back to the center, over to the side. Let me show you this from our side profile here. Clasping the hands together, pushing over toward you, pushing back toward the wall, okay? But I do need to round the shoulders forward. In order to get stretch between the shoulder blade and the spine, those scapula have to protract. P-R-O-T-R-A-C-T, right? If you want to look that up later, it's forward motion in the scapula versus retraction is pulling back. The muscle action is to pull back. So in order to stretch it, we've got to pull forward and push side to side. Now sometimes I do stirring the pot, which is forward and out, forward and out. And if you don't have any back or rib pain, vertebral issues, things like that, then sometimes I'll do this minuscule momentum, like a tiny bit of momentum swinging left and right. And again, that's only if I don't have rib pain, back pain, vertebral issues, okay? You don't want to swing like this with any kind of momentum if you have those issues. All right, so clasping the hands. This is the one I chose for today, though. I think it's my favorite, is just pushing side to side. This is an active stretch for the rhomboids. You may feel it, you might not. Take some intentionality, though. You can't just bend the elbows and be overly gentle with this one. You've got to really reach and come back. Really reach and come back. All right. Next up, a static stretch for the same muscle groups. I'm going to sit in my chair for this one. You don't have to. You can technically hold on to a wall, a countertop, a door handle, door frame. You can hold on to other objects. I'm going to use my own knees and sit in a chair for this. So here's what it looks like. Nice wide feet, right? Widen up the knees. Clasp the hands over one knee. So I'm anchoring to one knee. I'm going to hold on to my left knee with my right hand and pull back across my body. So I'm pulling in line with the arm that crosses. I know I'm getting really ticky-tacky with the lefts and rights. This is my right arm. If it's your left arm, that's fine, but this is my right arm, which means I'm going to lean back to the right, okay? So it looks like this. I'm pulling back. I'm not actually going to pull that knee across because I want to keep my knee there so that my hands are anchored in place, so that my shoulder stays in place, and then my body kind of leans back. It's not a whole lot of motion. It's just a little, I don't know if you can see that, it's just a little tug back. And what is that stretching? Right here between my shoulder blade and spine. So this is a kind of middle trap rhomboid stretch, mid-back. Pulling gently, right? Not irritating my shoulder. If it bothers anything, come out of it right away. Change it, change the angle. Maybe bring your feet closer together. Maybe bring them farther apart, I don't know. Adjust for yourself. Do it safe. Holding, holding, breathing. I notice I get more stretch as I inhale, because the ribs expand, increases that stretch. And I'm going to switch sides now, okay? So I'm going to keep my feet where they are. Hands over onto my right knee now. If you're on your left, that's fine, but I'm going to pull back to my left because this is my left arm coming across my body. So, pulling back. Whatever you're holding on with, pull back across the body. Leaning back. It should be mild, right? It should be intentional. There should be some tension to it, but it shouldn't be too aggressive. Usually when people get injured in stretching, they're either doing something totally goofy and just like a weird angle for their body, right? An inappropriate angle. Or they're going too hard. Or they're just pulling way too hard for themselves. Frequent stretching is not usually an issue. You could do a stretch class like this every day and most people would not get injured from that. But if you did a stretch class like this and one time you're just like, I'm going to pull really hard today. It's not like strength. You can't just, push more weight because you've decided to. This is one of those things where if you pull really hard, then you'll strain really fast. We want to avoid intensity and go more for frequency with stretching. Back and across. All right, I'm going to come out of that. Come to the lats now, the sides of the back. If you stay seated, it'll look like this. Clasp the hands together, down in the center, and come up and across, down to the center. Up and across, down to the center. Okay, I like that one. I call them the V-ups, or the Vancouver V-ups, because I'm in Vancouver. Or you can reach over like this. Over, over, over. It's just as good of a stretch, but I can't breathe as well when I reach up overhead. So you decide which one, there's a caveat there. You decide which one's more appropriate for you. You can reach over, lean, lean if you prefer. If you're standing, same two stretches are great. Clasp the hands together, come up and out. I think I get a little bit more out of this stretch standing. Some stretches are better seated, but this one I like better standing because you can move your hips with it too, right? The hips are associated with this back muscle because it reaches all down the side of the back and connects low. So come up and across, and if you move your hips the same way as your hands, my hands are over on the left, my hips push over to the left, I can feel more stretch in the side of my ribs on the right there. Okay? So if my hands go right, and my hips go right, I can feel stretch on the left side of my ribs. You're creating more expansion, right? More extension, not joint extension, but extensibility of the muscle tissues. So I come up and across. Up and across. And we're almost to our lower body here, by the way. For those looking for leg stuff, we're almost there. All right, keep on going there if you want to do more. That's our active stretch for the lats. Now we'll do a static stretch for the lats. I'm going to do a couple. I'm going to do one that we don't do every week and one that we pretty much do every week because it's a really good stretch. I like it. So I'm facing a wall here. Right hand's going to anchor to the wall over on the left, or the left hand can anchor to the wall over on the right. Essentially the same thing, but hold on with your hand, anchor there, meaning it stays put. Then push the hips and ribs out the other way. So if your hand's over on the left now, push your ribs over to the right, this way. If your hand's over on the right, push your ribs over to the left, this way. Looking for tension sort of in this area right here. Okay, on the side of the back. These can also be done facing the length of a wall instead of facing a wall directly. You can do it this way, using your bottom hand just kind of as a support, pushing away from the wall, holding, holding, holding. Yeah, this is one of those stretches where every time you breathe in, the ribs expand and it increases the intensity. This is also one of those stretches where, right, we're anchored to the wall. The hand is holding steady. So we want to be careful not to overdo the intensity. Here it is again on the other side. All right. Okay, the one that I don't do every week, I'm gonna kneel and face my chair. So it looks like this, just kind of a bonus stretch to show you another option. Kneeling down here, facing my chair. So I got my right knee down, and I'm gonna lean forward and hold on to the back of my chair. And as I lean forward, this is adding stretch to the side of my back. Now some people are gonna hold on to the chair, right, and pull back a little bit, and that's fine. It's okay if it's wobbly, right? That'll kind of be a cushion for intensity, right? For the people who want to really hold and pull really hard, which we don't want to do that, right? But for the people who are tempted to do that, this rocking chair is not a problem. All right, it's not like a safety risk, like I'm gonna fall or anything. Okay. Some people are gonna be so flexible though. I was kind of resting my ribs on my leg. Some people are gonna be so much more flexible than me. Get their leg out to the side more and lean beyond their knee, right? For me, it was fine. I got a good enough stretch resting on the top of my leg, but now I'm kind of in between my leg. Let me show you this at another angle just to show you what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll just switch to the other side. Okay, so now my right leg is forward. I'm gonna hold on to the back of the chair with my left hand. So at first I was on top of my leg. See, my core is on top of my leg here. And I'm just pulling back a little bit, maybe pushing the ribs to the side, I don't know. Adding tension to the side of the back. The side that reaches further, my left hand. This is my left hand, so I'm reaching to the back rung of my chair. It doesn't have to be that though. It could be the center of the chair, it could be the side of the chair. It's just something to hold on to, right? And what I started doing after I talked about more flexibility, some people might be so mobile that they get their right leg out to the side and then like they lean beyond the leg, okay? Probably look like some sort of grasshopper or frog thing right here, right now. Praying mantis maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this might be what some folks do. Leaning forward there, you get a lot of hip mobility out of that. It's not required though. Really, this is just a bonus move, and I like to hold on to the chair and just kind of rest my ribs on top of the leg, adding a little tension that way. Okay, you don't have to like get that hip stretch in at the same time. All right, everybody, awesome job on the first half, right? So we're gonna get to the legs next, lower half of the body. Let me check our time. And we're doing okay, doing great. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Second half, it's not gonna be exactly top to bottom because the glutes I wanna save for the end so that we can get on the floor a little bit. But we'll do some hamstrings here. I'm gonna hold on to the wall, heel down, toe up, fairly straight leg, but it is okay if there's a slight bend to the knee. This is not a joint mobilization exercise, it's a soft tissue elasticity exercise. So look for tension in the hamstrings. Heel down, toe up, a light swing, breathing. Very mild movements. Lower body stretches, starting with active stretches first, followed by static stretches. So this is an active stretch. Okay, I'm gonna do another one at the chair in just a second, another active stretch. Heel down, toe up. And you can do this way longer than I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna stop here because there's another one. Okay, so sitting in a chair, and I would suggest you do both, right? If you just don't have access to a chair right now, that's fine, skip it, but I would suggest both. Here's in a chair, sitting up nice and tall, grabbing the leg with the hands. So whatever leg is coming up to stretch, come up, hold the leg with your hands so that you're not over activating the hip flexors like this, just raising the leg, and also so that you can focus mostly on tension in the hamstring. So your leg does not need to go perfectly straight. Okay, there's a bend here, that's okay. But I'm still getting tension underneath the hamstrings. If you go perfectly straight but it's resting on the ground, you might not get tension, right? So get a little bit of motion there, left and right, a little bit of pull in the hammies. Working on that recoverability with those muscles. If you're sore from previous exercises yesterday, or I don't know, maybe you just did an exercise before this class, this helps with recovery, those active in and out of tension stretches. And if you're not sore, that's okay. That still warms you up for our next stretch, which is static, place and hold. Okay, next up, static. Heel down, toe up. I'll do this side first because it's closer to you. I like to put my hands on my hips just to train my spine to stay straight and then hinge forward. But you can put your hands wherever. I mean, they could go on your knee, they could go up in the air. They don't have to do anything in particular. They could be palms together. But the idea is a straight spine so that we're not tempted to reach for the toe and bend the back. Okay, reaching for the toe, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But the idea here is don't get a lot of nerve tissue tension, nerve pull through, and compromise your spine by bending over. Instead, shoulders back, chest up, and then hinge at the hips until you find some tension there. And you might not get very far. For me, this is as far as I got. It probably does not even look like I'm really stretching, but heel down, toe up, fairly straight leg, looking for tension here in the bottom of that straight leg. Shoulders back, sort of flaring my tail up. I know you can't see that because it hardly moves, but flare the tail up versus tucking the tail for this particular stretch. Holding, holding, holding. Or if there's ever a move that I do that you can't do, that just doesn't feel accessible, let me know, write a comment in there so that I know for the future what to include, when to add something new, okay? I want to be as inclusive as possible, as accessible for exercise as possible. Switching sides, heel down, toe up. And if you write a comment in there and you keep watching, then you don't have to wait till the end and remember what you were trying to recall, right? Remember what complaint. Give me a complaint. No, I'm just kidding. Should be a positive comment, hopefully. Constructive criticism. Pull the shoulder blades back. Nice straight spine. You could train with the hands on the hips or just put your hands on this kind of supporting leg. It's your non-target leg and hinge forward. Looking for tension in the straight leg. The bottom, the back side of the straight leg. Now I know some people that are so flexible. I mean, they'll like fold forward and their spine's still straight. That's just not me. I'm not built that way and I haven't trained that way, right? I've only been stretching frequently like this for a couple of years now, which has helped me dramatically reduce injury risk. I've been injured way less in the last couple of years. And I'm paying attention to how I'm moving. I'm basically doing kind of my own rehabilitation on certain joints that I've injured over the years. My knees have had issues, my feet have had issues, and doing these stretches have helped. But I'm not going to look like somebody who's been, doing the splits their whole life. That's okay, right? That kind of mobility is really cool, but unnecessary. It doesn't improve my life. I want to get as flexible as I can within reason and prevent all the injuries that I can, right? All right, come out of that, shake out the hamstrings just a little bit here. I'm gonna do one more hamstring stretch standing, okay? Come on up. And you choose if you're gonna do this facing a chair or a wall, it doesn't matter to me, or a countertop. Holding on, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Push the bottom back and you're sort of flaring the tail up. If you tuck the tail, you'll remove tension from the hamstrings back here. So we want to flare the tail up, pushing the bottom back, and it can go up and down, anything like that. Look for tension in the back of the front leg. This is my right leg in front, so I'm looking for tension back here. You can do this at a chair. Like I said, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Flare the tail up, don't tuck the tail because that'll take tension away, right? We want to add tension, so flare the tail up. All right, switching sides. Flare the tail up. Okay. Boy, maybe I'm quiet today. Normally I'm rambling for like the whole class. Maybe I've just centered myself, centered my chi, right? I'm calm. Tail up. And this straight leg, or sorry, this leg that I am stretching, this stretching leg, the target leg, does not need to be perfectly straight, right? If I perfectly straighten it out, that's fine and dandy, but honestly, I'm irritating my nerve that way. There's a lot of nerve pull through. I can feel achiness and sort of like a cool tingle. I don't want that, right? You don't want a cool tingle. You want just good old-fashioned tension somewhere here in the leg. Wiggle the toes if you're starting to feel like there's not enough blood flow there. And I achieve that best with a slightly bent knee. For me, if you're super duper flexible, that probably won't work for you. You'll probably have to have a straight leg if you're very flexible. But for me, a slightly bent knee helps to reduce that tingle, right, in the nerves. Okay, I'm going to come out of that, roll on up, roll, 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 shake it out, shake it out. All right, we did a lot for the hamstrings. We're going to move on now. A little bit of quadriceps. Okay, what you can do is very gently hold on to a wall, by the way. You don't have to gently hold on to a wall. Hold on to a wall, nice and tight, and then kick back and across very gently. So this is a heel kick back, just sort of as a light warm up for the quadriceps. And then for a static quadricep stretch, you can squat down, right hand to left foot or left hand to right foot. Essentially, I go for opposite limbs. So right to left to right, not the same side, because we don't want to twist out on accident. It should be very lined up. And when you twist out, you get a little separation in that medial knee. It can cause some laxity in that medial knee, pinching, pain. I was doing that for a long time, and I did have pain in my medial knee. So now I bring my hand to the opposite side. The hip might turn out a little bit. That's okay though. Hips are designed to do that. That's how our toes point out, right? It's not happening at the knee. It's happening at the hip, way up here. So it's okay if the hip turns out and the leg comes across. What we don't want to do is twist the knee by picking the foot up and out. Okay, so turn the hip out and then left hand to right foot, right hand to left foot, opposites essentially. Looking for tension along the length of this muscle group here. Now you might feel it differently depending on where you rotate your hip. Okay, so if my foot is back more, I might feel it in a different line of the quadriceps compared to if I pull my foot across more, I might feel it slightly differently. Okay, so you can kind of adjust that. Find the area of the most tension. Not that you want to overdo intensity, but find the area of the most success, I'm going to call it, the most effectiveness. If it feels like you're getting a good stretch, but it's not pulling and straining, you're probably better off there. Unlock the knee associated with the ground. My left knee should be unlocked so that there's some bounce in there. You don't need to bounce and squat the whole time, but create a little bit of cushion so that there's good blood flow in both legs. Okay, I'm going to switch sides, right to left, left to right, whatever side you're on. Unlock the knee associated with the ground. My right foot's down, so my right knee should be bent just a little bit. Again, you don't have to bounce the whole time, but there should be some cushion and blood flow in the leg. Okay, and we've got some floor stretches that we do in this class as well for the quadriceps. I'm going to skip those right now and get to the hip flexors next. Keep going there if you want to spend more time with that. Next up, hip flexors. These are the tops of the legs. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and it does not need to be a very dramatic step, right? This is not like an ultimate yoga warrior one posture or anything like that. This is just a moderate step back because we want to be able to move, right? We want to be able to tuck the tail in and out of tension like this. Tuck, flare, tuck, flare. It looks like the John Travolta dance or the maybe some Elvis Presley stuff. I don't know. Tuck your tail, squeeze the glutes, and then push the hips front to back. So we're getting some rock in the hips. Rocking front to back. Breathing. Eyes should be forward. I want to try not to irritate my neck by looking over at you guys. Okay. Tip forward. Step forward with the other side stepping back. Again, tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, and then rock the hips front to back. Keep on going there. I'm going to check our time. Doing all right on time. Hope you guys are doing well, feeling well, getting a good class in, getting a good stretch in. You guys are doing good things for yourselves and encouraging me, right, through these classes to do good things for myself as well. All right, now for a static stretch, same thing. I'm going to switch sides. Switch sides, back to side number one. Tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, rock the knee forward so that the front shin is vertically placed. Knee should be stacked above the front ankle. And then tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward, all that. And then, I'm wobbling over to the side, you guys. Scoop forward and up with the arms, and I'm just going to hold here. And yes, this does look like a yoga posture. It's very much a warrior one, essentially. But we're looking for tension in the front of the leg, hip, and possibly even the kind of that lower abdominal area in the corner there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we could definitely do that a lot longer, but I'm going to move on. Switching sides. Okay, so nice long step. Tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward to the point where your front knee is stacked above your front ankle. Scoop forward and up. Breathing. You might tighten the core and look for tension in the front of the leg, hips in this area, and lower abdominal corner there. Breathing in and out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tip forward, step forward, and march the knees a little bit there. All right, adductors. These are the inner leg here. Okay, and I have a favorite stretch, so I'm going to do that one, but there are other stretches where you could place and hold in different ways. But essentially, I like to use a chair, hold on to the chair, nice wide feet, and rock left and right. Okay, so this is our active stretch first, and I am straightening out my right leg and pushing my right hip down toward the ground while the left knee bends. Then I switch sides, straightening out the left leg over here, pushing my left hip down toward the ground as my right knee bends. So this is, I'm not trying to twist my knee here, but a little bit of swaying left and right. This is an active stretch because we're going in and out of tension. We're sort of engaging antagonist muscles, basically rocking side to side. We're moving and grooving and warming into this tension. All right, working on our elasticity here. How much can we bounce back? Okay, and this from the side, I'm going to show you this from the side here because I'm going to add a hamstring element in just a second. If you're ready, go ahead and do the static stretch. So it's going to be very similar. You go to the side and you just place and hold. Now if you want to multitask and get some hamstrings in, you can rock back and you'll get the adductors, that inner leg, and potentially a little bit of hamstring in at the same time. And I'm just going to hold maybe 15, 14, 13, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock forward, switch sides, and pull back. Okay, so I'm getting some adductors and a little bit of hamstring at the same time. It's okay if you're only getting one or the other. That's fine. We're aiming for some adductors, inner thigh, inner leg there. If you like a different stretch, you're always welcome to do that. 15, 14, 13, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rock forward. Come back to the center and walk the legs close together. Roll on up. Shake out the legs. Okay, I'm gonna come down to the calves here. You can hold on to a chair, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and sort of rock if you like. What I think works even better is the wall, because I can do more horizontal, more backward push, okay? So it's one thing to get into position, it's another thing to get into pressure. So I like to hold on to something that I can really push against to some degree, maybe a countertop that's against a wall, but essentially I like the wall the best. You can do what works for you. Some people will get a good stretch just getting into the position and forgetting about the front to back push. That's fine with me, right? If you're tight enough to where if that is effective, then that's fine. But I like the tension I get from this. A little bit of rocking. And switch sides. Heel down, a little bit of rocking. Breathing. All right, I'm gonna switch sides one more time, back to side number one, or sorry, 2 more times. Back to side number 1, place and hold, push the heel down and back. I'm not rocking anymore. And then I'll switch sides one last time here, side number 2, whatever that is for you. Not rocking anymore, just place and hold and push, breathing in and out. Breathing and out. All right, coming out of that. All right, like I promised, glutes are last so that I could show you one on the floor. I'm gonna do a standing, this is very brief. It's not my favorite glute stretch, but it is a good active glute stretch. Really, most of the glute stretches that I like are static, but here it is. So you hold onto a wall, bring the right knee up and pull it across. Okay, I don't wanna twist my knee here though. My left knee associated with my left foot on the ground. Don't twist your knee. Just pull up and across. Other side, up and across. Up and across. Up and across. Now you can face a wall and hold on maybe better, like this. But it's a little bit of tension, up and across. Up and across. I am feeling a little bit of tension here. Now it's not very aggressive. Part of that is the thickness, the meat, the amount of tissue in your glutes. It's a big, thick muscle usually. So pulling with your hands, it's not very aggressive. I like the chair and the floor stretches. Here we go. You know what you could do right now? Share this video with someone you like, or share it with someone you don't like. That's okay. You don't have to tell them if you like them or not, but share the video and yeah, let's watch the community grow. Thanks. If you've got a good chair to work with, cross one leg over, give it a hug, pulling it back. This is more aggressive because you're using both arms and it's longer, right? Not distance-wise, it's duration. It's a longer hold than that active stretch I just showed. And then you can pull across to add tension. So instead of pulling straight back, the line of pull here pulls across the body. This is my right glutes I'm stretching here. If I pull my knee over to the left, I get more tension in the glutes than if I pull straight back. So you can try that. Okay, make sure you get both sides though. If this is the one that you chose, then great, it's a good stretch. I do like this one pretty well. And then I'm gonna get down to the floor like I promised. Seriously, go subscribe. And show you on your back. Actually, I'm gonna do the seated one first. Sitting upright, cross the leg over, give it a hug back. Very similar, quite equivalent to the one in the chair. You can turn your body a little bit and twist, pulling the leg across. This is my right glutes, pulling the leg over to the left. Okay, that's an option. Do both sides if that's the one you're choosing. Here's another one on the floor that gets a slightly different angle than the one in the chair. On my back, right ankle over the left knee or the other way around, and then rock the legs back. So I'm using my hands to support and help pull backward. Looking for tension in the glutes here as I rock back And I'm just gonna, normally if I were doing this stretch for me, I would hold this way longer, talking like a minute or two even, to really get a good extensibility on these muscles. Lengthen them, cause some adaptation, and we'll call it long-term change. Almost said permanent change, but change goes, you know, it takes a step back if you stop exercising, right? So we'll call it long-term change. I'm gonna switch sides a little early so I can just demonstrate both sides for you. Left ankle over the right knee and rock back, using your hands to pull. Okay, you could pull on the supporting leg, a little bit of both, or just on the leg that you're stretching. This one's a pretty safe one to pull at most directions, but you're pulling straight back toward your nose, right? Toward your body. Wherever you can kind of get your arms. And you're using this leg, this supporting leg, to help rock toward yourself, toward your shoulders. All right. That is it for the class design today. Really quick, you don't need to like follow along with these. I'm just gonna offer a couple of bonus stretches since I'm on the ground. You can just see what these look like really quick. If you're somebody who's not gonna get on the ground for stretches, I encourage you just to watch for just a half a minute, just so you can see what you might be able to do on a couch or in bed later, okay? So here's an option. Feet together. It looks like a butterfly stretch where you lean forward, but I'm not doing that. Anchoring to one knee and pull across the body. This is a lot like our seated stretch in the chair for the upper back, for the rhomboids. Pull back and across. This is my left arm, so that's an option. Okay. You could do the butterfly stretch where you lean forward. That's more joint mobilization and less soft tissue elasticity. So I would call that more of a yoga stretch, if you will, and less of a Western common muscle stretch, right? And I'm not like stretching the hamstrings here or a specific muscle. It's more joint motion, but it is a good stretch for hip mobility, I suppose. Okay, next up, hands and knees. This is for the lats, the back. Hands and knees, looks like this. Reach forward with one hand. I just put 2 fingers on the ground because this one can be too aggressive if you anchor too well, right? But I just put 2 fingers on the ground and then I rock back a little bit. So just to show you a dramatic demonstration of this, fingers there, rock back. Now don't go too far too fast, and really you shouldn't be moving that far because you should reach forward almost as far as you can. So if I reach forward as far as I can, then right, how can I rock back anymore? But that's not a fun demonstration, so I demonstrate by not reaching quite as far. But this is the direction, the directionality of the pull. Here's what it looks like. Reach forward and then pull back. Okay, you can push your ribs over to the side. If this is your right arm, push your ribs over to the right for side bend stretch. If it's your left hand forward, push your ribs over to the left for left side bend stretch. This is left side body stretch, I should say, and right side body stretch. This is for the lats and the ribs and everything moving in there. Okay. For the quadriceps, you could in bed or on the floor if you're comfortable. You could lay flat on your stomach, right leg to left hand or left leg to right hand, either way. Looking down at your mat or your bed, pulling up and back. For the quadriceps, this one is maybe less physically comfortable than the standing quadricep stretch we did maybe 8 to 10 minutes ago, but there's no fall risk, right? We're already flat on our face, so no fall risk with this one, less mobility shifting issues. And let's see, I think I'm going to call that our last one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with someone you do or don't like. Doesn't matter to me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.